Coming into this season, you played a lot of ball. How do you feel, though, that these 5 games have gone for you personally?
I feel like they've gone all right. I think there's always room for improvement. I think that's just what I'm trying to strive to do every single week.
How much do you think the snaps that, like, before this season kind of helped you grow into the role that you're in now, starting every week?
As in, like, fall camp snaps?
Even like last year and 2019, like the experience that you've had under your belt already.
I think it's always good to get some type of experience. I think experience is the best teacher of all. Being able to actually go out there and experience things firsthand. I mean, practice is always great, but you never know how you're going to actually react in a situation, until you're actually in that situation. I think game time really shows you who you really are and kind of builds character as well.
Coach Collins mentioned the good and good episodes out of practice. You go up against Pitt in the offense. How has that turned out for you? You've been able to get some victories that you're proud of out there in the practice field?
I mean, yeah, there's always victories, there's always losses. As you know, they're doing a phenomenal job on offense right now. So I think going against guys like Jordan, Tayshair, Barden, the rest of the receivers, it's just always good to go against them, and knowing they're doing well on Saturdays, to know that I'm going against some of the best guys in the country every week. So
what makes Jordan such a good receiver?
He gets open. I mean, you see on Saturday, he gets open, he catches the ball, and he scores a lot.
Are there little techniques you can see in his game that you can maybe guard him a little bit? You don't want to give him away, obviously, but there are things that he does that helps you out?
I mean, some of the little things, but I honestly don't think nobody plays like him, at least no one that we play. Mm-hmm. So there's not really anything I can kind of like mirror from him to mirror in somebody else's game, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's no really mirroring in that.
Good. I mean, the coach the other day talked about how he felt maybe Pitt isn't getting the respect that he believes that maybe you guys deserve. I'm curious. That's the head coach talking, but I'm curious. The 125 you guys. I mean, what's the discussion like? I mean, you looking on what is it, Sunday afternoon to see what the polls say, or do you try to block that stuff out, or what?
Nah. I mean, he tells us every single week when he comes in here. Just put your phones away. Don't look at all that, all the social media, all the poll rankings. I mean, what is it, week 7 now? The only ranking that really matters is at the end of week 12. So that's what we're looking forward to, and that's what we're striving for.
That being said, this next stretch here, I mean, there's 4 big-time teams in a row I think you guys have. I mean, how important is this stretch of sort of defining how 2021 is viewed for the Pitt Panthers?
I mean, it's just as important as the past 4 weeks. VTech is a big game, and once VTech will be done, Clemson will be a big game, and so forth and so on. So we're looking forward to each and every one of them as a championship game.
Sure. When you watch Burmeister, what stands out? I mean, there's not anything physically where you say, wow, this guy does, but what stands out to him is the whole package of quarterback.
He's a really good runner. We know that. I think he's one of the fastest players on their team, to be honest. And he just gets the ball to his receivers to make plays. Gets the ball in space for them to make plays and for them to do different types of things with the ball. So I think he's a really good general, if that makes sense. And he kind of facilitates their offense really well.
He's a guy that's not necessarily going to run it. Like, he could just make time in the pocket, but he can run. Like, he can do just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does he remind you at all about, or are there any similarities between him and Hendon Hooker, a guy that you played against Virginia Tech in the past, but also, this year against Tennessee? Are they different?
I would say maybe a little bit of similarities in the way that they run, but I mean, I experienced Hendon Hooker firsthand when we actually played them, so I can kind of say how he really plays and stuff. We haven't experienced this new guy, so I mean, film can only tell you so much.
What was the bye week like, and what were you guys really focused on, given some extra practice time to maybe clean up some stuff or whatever you felt like you needed to work on those extra couple days?
It was exactly that. Clean up, get better at the little things, technique things, revisit kind of like the fundamentals, get back to basics type thing, and emphasis on recovery a lot. Get our bodies right for this next, 7-game stretch.
How useful is that as a first-time starter, you can kind of get into that week-to-week grind where it's like, okay, well, yeah, that happened, but we got to focus on this next team now that might not do something different, and that lesson that you should have learned last week isn't really applicable, to take that time and to sort of reset everything you've done so far this season. How useful is that as a first-time starter, especially, to have that time to kind of go back over everything that you've done to this season and sort of refresh and reset it at this point?
I think it's great. I think the place of our bye week was really was really good for me at least. Just kind of having a few games to actually like play, kind of understand how I'm feeling out there, and then go back and review it and understand my weaknesses, my strengths, things that I need to continue to improve on, and things that I just need to really hone and focus on.
You were in Rashad's position in a sense that you played some corner, you played kind of all around the secondary, and he's done that as a young guy. Where do you kind of see him make strides, and where do you see him making strides in the coming weeks?
Really his mental game. We've been having a lot of talks and just how to juggle the different positions and how to play a whole bunch of different positions. And I think he's fully capable of it. And I think the biggest thing is to just get the mental side down, get the mental aspect of playing all those positions, as well as the technique, because there's a lot of different techniques for all those different positions.
Do you think it's a little underappreciated in a sense that knowing how to play different positions in the secondary in a week-by-week basis?
I really wouldn't say underappreciated. Maybe it's not talked about so much in the media or anything, but our coaches definitely emphasize how much they're grateful for like the things that we do and our ability to kind of flex in different positions like that.
What are you doing better this year that you maybe weren't doing in previous seasons? You say to yourself, boy, I'm getting it now. Is it something you're seeing, or something you're doing that makes your improvement be obvious to you?
Yeah, I think one big thing is I know I talk about communication a lot, but talking to DeMar like kind of before the season and the way I film study, and just kind of noticing things, taking things from film and actually applying them on the field, being able to talk about them, being able to kind of call out plays, kind of like help the backers, my corners, and the other safeties kind of know what things are doing, kind of be like a field general out there.
Is Virginia Tech the closest thing you've seen to what Western Michigan did with the RPOs since then?
Kind of, sort of. It's kind of different in the way that they run their offense with a lot of misdirection and a lot of flashy stuff. But I guess we'll really get a taste of it on Saturday.